What do you think?
Who's the leader of the Psychedelic Revolution?
Just the word leader, like before
Oh.
we even got into like psychedelic and revolution, like
The
what is a
people.
leader? Yeah.
Someone who has the courage to talk about it and research it and becomes the person, the voice of. But I know there's a lot of voices that are leaders that come together, but I don't know. A leader is someone who's got the courage to do whatever it has to be done to do.
To get the word out.
To get the word out, to research it, to not be afraid to, because it's different, you know, the psychedelic revolution took a long time to come back. It was in the 60s.
Yeah, they call it the third wave.
And a lot of people in San Francisco, right? Do you have no friends there?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, well, I mean, like,
Excuse me.
did you happen to know, like, Michael Gosney?
Michael.
Gosney, he was very, I mean, he was a friend of mine that was just like 5-10 years ago was talking about this. And I'm sure you've been working on it, but it had a bad rap.
Yeah.
Do you know Shulgin?
I never met him, no. I knew some of the early pioneers in it, like Timothy Leary and Ram Dass.
Oh, Raptors.
And we had, I knew
Dennis
Ram
Martin.
Dass quite a bit. But Shogun, he really came after me.
Nice to
Yeah.
to hear that.
Well, MDMA was invented like, or really came out after kind of in the late 70s, early 80s. And in my own journey, I had been involved in the 60s and was part of that whole, summer love type thing. Lived in Haight-Ashbury, and life was amazing. I mean, it was like a snapshot of a time. It was a dream. We all had a dream at the same moment, and the dream was that we could all live in peace and harmony. And we all felt it that we could do it, and it was all fueled by LSD and the other psychedelics that we got to use in those days.
Then they got cut.
And dreams are beautiful things. I don't know what life would be like without a dream, right?
Yeah.
But this was a collective dream, so it's everybody having the same dream. And the dream was, let's stop this stupid war that we're killing these people for no reason. What is it? And we had a dream that there would be equality with the genders. And we had a dream that there would be more equality with races. We had all these dreams, but what we learned was that dreams, for dreams, a lot of times is leadership. And we didn't have leadership back then. Timothy Leary was not our leader. I mean, like I said, I met Tim, he was nice. We didn't follow Tim Leary. It was a matter of he was saying what we were feeling. And he came out with some, like if you were hanging out, he'd be like, oh, a friend says some cool stuff. But it wasn't like he was some sort of a godlike, you know what I'm saying? Like Timothy Leary said, tune in, tune out. So I'm turning in, tuning on, dropping. No, nobody did that. That wasn't the line.
Well, it was used in
No name tag there, right?
psychedelics were used with therapy, couples therapy and stuff like that. At one point, I don't know what happened. I guess it just became outlawed or whatever, and they couldn't do it anymore.
Couples therapy?
Yeah, they did with the acid. I want to call it acid. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it was all outlawed. All up to that point, it was accepted, it was studied, it was universities were doing it. They were already seeing results. There wasn't a hard thing at all. It It was a total political agenda to quiet the biggest threat to me.
Yeah.
I was listed with the FBI before I was ever in front of any law enforcement or anything. They had records of me. This is 1966, 67. I'd never done anything. I was an Eagle Scout. But I used.
Yeah, exactly.
But I used LSD.
Did you continue, have you been doing this for the whole, I mean, did you go off and do something else for a while?
So you're rushing ahead of my story. Please don't rush it. You don't have enough time. Please don't rush it. So what happened? You know, the war ended. The war kind of ended. Some say we had a role. Fashion, art, all this stuff changed. Theater changed, new formats. Books, new formats. Movies, new approaches to classical arts that have never, it's permanent. Music became the golden age, or classic rock, means it lives forever. This is the classic period in music that we contributed to, most of it fueled by LSD.
Yeah.
And so what was missing? We weren't leaders. We had to be leaders. And what's the first lesson in a leader? Heal yourself. How can you lead people to healing or changing the world unless, if it's to be, it's up to me? And this is the bad news if you want to be a leader or a shaman. It's a thing in the Bible. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive. Oh shit! Wait a minute. This is no. I just wanted to be forget as I. No shit. What kind of? That's a. It's the same. It's the same here. You can't heal other people. How could we heal the world, all of us, if we were so wounded? And we were doing what's now, we now recognize is a spiritual bypass, which means I don't have to deal with my own shit. I'll just be spiritual. I'll just be in the, do a couple more sprays, do a couple more gummies, dance around, wear some beads. And so you're into that. It's not like being a heroin addict, but then in the end, you've avoided the issues just as well. And then those addictions, for many of us, like myself, we didn't even realize that we were addicts. And so soon we were all doing crazy shit. Not just the medicine, not just the acid, not just the peyote, not just the pot. We were starting to do a little bit of speed, a little bit of this, a little bit of coke. And like most of my brethren, especially as musician friends of mine, the coke pretty much brought us down. And so in 1981, I got sober and let go of everything, and went on a track to make it in the world. Not be this hippie. I was selling pot for 10 years. Full time. But I said, now I'm straight. I'm going to give all that stuff up, and I'm going to do life the way they said it was supposed to be done. Just the way you become somebody, be somebody. Wrote a book, wrote another book, wrote 5 books, wrote 7 books. On TV shows all around, radio shows, I don't know how many. I've spoken in every state in the Union, Europe. I'm not saying that so you should think I'm something great. I'm telling you that because with all that shit, I was totally bankrupt. Completely bankrupt. Big house in Manhattan Beach, on the beach, views from Malibu to Palos Verdes, all windows, BMW. Why? Because I never dealt with my addictions. I stopped drinking, I stopped drugging, but I never healed. And in 2018, I had what you would call today a nervous breakdown. They don't use that expression. Do you remember that one? Not that I'm accusing you any age at all, but.
No, yeah.
Do you remember that expression that you see?
Yeah, of course.
It was
Did
very,
you
you
say
don't hear it
anyone?
ever, it's never spoken, nobody ever says it today, it like went out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a nervous breakdown, I remember going to an event and somebody said something, I just started crying. I don't know what I'm crying about. It scared you, it would always scare the other, like I knew what I was crying, but it would always scare the bird, like, uh-oh, well, like what? And I went into a deep pit, and I had physical ailments and so on, life-threatening, and was healed. Was healed with entities, one particular entity. And, you know, when you're given back your life, it's really an interesting phenomenon. If you've ever been through that, I sat there on the hill, and I didn't know if I was going to live or not, and I said, I'm good either way. And I really was. I was good. I wasn't like, I want to live. No, I'm not in that. You know, I'm not. I was never that guy. And you know, with the truth. And spirit came in the form of an entity, and in 24 hours, I was healed. And sometimes I can't believe it. I mean, I have all the medical records and everything.
And you were sober?
I have been sober, yeah, I have been sober. That whole sickness, yeah, I've been sober for 38 years, when all of that, your sobriety's not
Well, you got your
enough.
healing, when you said you saw,
Well, then yeah, but I was sober, but I was living a life addicted to
Right.
money, power, fame, then
Yeah.
sex, and then it was the regular story. It's like, you know, like, how many times you have to hear that story, right? It's just regular, the regular story. Just transferred all those addictions, all that stuff into, you could do it with, my AA sponsor used to say, I'm addicted to corduroy. You know, it's like, when you're that personality, you know, you can just get into it. And so then I was given a life, and that's when I went back to psychedelics, and I said, wait a minute, these substances are not just to go hear the Grateful Dead, or go to the concert, or go dance all night. This stuff is powerful ways to reconnect with these entities, these spirits, this consciousness, this incredible world that's not like this. And I didn't know anybody. And so I just started growing mushrooms at home. And that's, if you haven't grown mushrooms, has anybody here ever grown mushrooms?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a great,
It's magical.
such a fun thing to do. It's such a nice thing to do, even if you don't do them forever. And, you know, I started eating the mushrooms that I was growing and reconnecting. And remember, I've taken hundreds of LSD trips, mescaline, peyote, DMT, things you should never even take, I've taken. You know, like, so coming back with, on my hands and knees, with an attitude of surrender, was a whole different approach than the medicine. And now, real healing could take place.
Is there a computer here?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is.
So, with this new approach, I discovered, I don't want to bring this back to the topic, I discovered microdosing. And microdosing became a really vital part of my healing process. In fact, the whole book was written pretty much on microdose. The insights it was going to, because microdoses are cool in the sense that there's nothing intoxicating or I can do everything I would do. So writing, I've been a writer, I've written a lot, and it was just now writing from a little higher level of consciousness than I would normally have written. And I kept listening to the medicine, and I kept listening to the direction that it was giving me. And I went to the medicine, and this answers your question, Tanya. It took a long time.
sorry.
I went to a retreat in Ojai, and it was a DMT. Part of it, the weekend was DMT. Have you done DMT? No? Has anybody done DMT? It's called the God molecule.
In the form of ayahuasca.
It's related, as far as the tryptamines and so on. It would be in the same category as ayahuasca, yeah. But it's 15 to 20 minutes of pure connection with God. And usually, for a lot of people, a lot of different kinds of experiences on it. I had done it in 1967. I hadn't done it again until I did it in Ojai in 2020. And for me, what came down was messages. And those messages were to do what I'm doing right this minute. To share the information. And it showed me how everything I was doing, all those radio shows and those books and speaking all over the world, and how it was all just preparing me for today. Like, I don't mean metaphorically today, I mean today, Sunday, April 4th. And said, you have to do this. You have to carry the message. That's why you've been educating adults for 20 years now, 25 years, developing those skills. And you have to carry this message. And to be a leader in this field, that's the catch. You have to be what you want to talk about. You have to constantly be healing yourself. To be a model. To say, yes, this works. And yes, you can keep taking it forever. It's not like you get there. It's, you're there.
Yes.
But you're still doing it.
On that.
You're all there, but you're still doing it. You're expressing it.
Right.
And I'll share with you what the medicine told me about why we're here. And this is what they said. You're here for one reason, to learn how to love. And so it doesn't start with our family or end with our children. It starts and ends in every single action. Somebody coming to my booth and me showing patience, even though they're not even polite. To know that I want to do what I'm here for. And so people get lost, they think they're here for the money, or the BMW, or the house in Manhattan Beach, with a beautiful wife, and 2 beautiful kids. And they are beautiful. And we're not here for any of that. Because in the end, the kids are gone. Usually you're divorced. And you're back to why you're here, to learn how to love. And so the point of the book is that the business that you're in, the leadership position you're in, is the opportunity. When you're on a team and somebody says something you don't like, or you disagree with, are you fucking kidding me? And you're working together with other people to come to respond with consciousness and not with ego. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, like a clear mirror, or like a clear water, or like a lake. Not from a place of response, but just holding space, tenderly, gently hold each other's heart.
Yeah, listen, I'd take anything but reacting. Are you a fucking idiot? How could you mess up like that? Are you stupid? Or at least thinking and then doing corporate speak, like, well, Bill, And by the way, I'm a corporate consulting. We're for 25 years teaching leadership in the corporate environment. I've seen the worst fucking leaders in the fucking world. I know more CEOs than most people. And I can't count how many get what we just said. That you understood, and you understood, and we all understood. that our own healing is the most important point.
Mm-hmm.
And that life itself is this opportunity to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And not just when I go to the group or the business or that group or whatever I'm doing, but in every interaction. There's no diminishment, whether it's me in the chambermaid at the hotel or my daughter. There's nothing, there's no difference. And as long as you see a difference, you're in a dream. You're not living your purpose.
Let that separation dissolve.
Exactly. There's no separation. There's no separation at all, of any kind. But you're not, the problem is the ego mind. That kills everything. Everything that's good. Everything that's possible. And it's not even the ego. The ego's not bad. It's the identification with it. That's who I am. And in the book, I'm trying to explain that's not who you are. You're so much, you're divine, unlimited consciousness.
The
And
identity.
you're leading from this place of scarcity and fear instead of abundance. And that kills everything. I watched so much stuff get destroyed over 20, 25 years in corporate, great ideas, because the egos just would play into every situation. They want it their way, they want it out, they want it their way.
It's like shedding, but they're holding onto the old skin that's shedding already off.
Well, it's called command and control. That's the model. And the model that I'm encouraging people, if they want to be leaders, is collaboration. And collaboration means that we find how we benefit each other and how I'm using your best skills and my best skills. And smart leaders, there aren't that many, and no leader's perfect, and every leader's flawed. But hey, you've got to know how to play the game. Like I'm good with not being good at something, but you're not playing the right game. Points out in the book, the most important thing somebody on a team could be is if they care. If I have somebody that works for me and they care, right now I'm up here, breeze at the desk. I don't think about anything. There's nothing I have to think about my affairs, and because Bree cares. I didn't say she's I didn't say she can make them. I didn't say any of that. She's going to do it perfect. Perfect, because she cares. So now, the question becomes, if the most important thing to get things done, to create monster opportunities and possibilities and organizations and retreat centers or whatever your dream is,
I love it.
then you got to have
So
a
nice.
team
So nice dream.
that cares.
Yes.
What's the problem? Forgive me as I forgive those who trust. Got it again. Shit. Same deal. For Bree to care about the Psychedelic Institute of Los Angeles, I've got to care about Bree. Not fake care. Not, how you doing? How was your weekend? I mean, those are good questions, but I'm talking about real care. When she lost her dog a couple of months ago of 12 years, and what I loved dearly was at my house all the time. To know how she was suffering. Not even have to say anything. I know how much she was suffering. To care. Right? To care. Peter Drucker, the great management consultant, he said in one of his theses, he said, why is it that the word love is verboten in the corporate? So they're like, why you can't even say the word? And he's, by the way, he's considered one of the most elite management consultants, like people like me, used to go, well, what did Peter Drucker say? That you can't even say the word. But good managers, good leaders, people on good teams, they know that. And you see devotion that's beyond words, and people doing things that could never have been done. And sales, I do a lot of sales training and sales development. People, they stay the extra hour. They make the extra call. You don't have to look at a call sheet and do bullshit. My people, I never have to do that. I don't have to do that. They know what needs to be done. They care. They care. They care. And what's caring? It's love. It is. It's love. But it's not romantic love. It's not possessive love. It's not identifying love. It's that real love. The real diamond, the crystal. It's that unconditional love.
Oh, this is cool.
No matter
Real
what
diamond.
you fucking do. I always love those the mothers of the guy who just like murdered 12 nurses on the campus of Dallas. He was such a good boy. Like they always say the same thing. He never did a thing right. Yeah, he was such a good boy.
Hello?
That real love, that real attention that, like you may have. You know why people love dogs so much? Because it's unconditional. So for one moment in their life, for one piece of their life, they get to, because the rest of the time it's like, I give you this, you give me that, I give you this. Here it's like, man, you should have seen, like, she put so much money into poor Stan. Excuse me, can you take that outside next time it rings? If it does, thank you. So, yeah, how do we make them care? How do we make them? We always feel threatened. We always feel threatened that we're not going to get what we want. And so if you work with a team and somebody's not performing, it's always selfishness. It's always selfishness. Isn't it? If they're not performing well. It's always a threat. And then you respond badly. Because you're imagining not getting something. And the truth is you have everything. Everything. Look back on your life and look at any area where you saw, gee, I had a big opportunity and I messed it up. And you will see the ego of identity right there. If you want to see how it screws you up. Because it's a very mischievous kind of a thing. Because it tells you you're okay. I'm judging you, but I have to judge you. It's just my job, and you could do a better job if you just, but I'm not judging you. No, you're judging me. That mind is judging the mind. And once you start to see that pattern, it gets released. It gets released naturally, without forcing it. But it's very tricky. It's very tricky. And so when we go out and try to be leaders, to not overreact is the real secret. From my perspective, as far as where the rubber meets the road, is taking that breath, not overreacting, and then coming back. Do you know what I'm talking about, Tatiana? Yeah. Oh, you're Russian, you know. You got emotions. Russians got emotions. I used to play Tchaikovsky and Shostakovich. I love Shostakovich when I was young. Saying things we shouldn't have said. Right? doing things that we shouldn't have done, jealousies, possessiveness of friends. And so what I'm asking for in the book, and it's not just in the book, it's like a way of life. That our leadership isn't, and by the way, isn't everybody a leader?
We are our own narrator of our life.
Everybody's a leader. If you have a friend, and you said, hey, I read a good book, you just let them. If you're your older brother or your older sister, they guide you. Your mother, your dad, your mother, your dad, a friend. You smoke pot and you said, hey, you got to try this. You influence. The actual definition means point in the direction to, or give advice to, the accomplishment of a specific goal or achievement. That's like the literal definition of a leader. And haven't we all done that with somebody? I mean, and then some of us in this room that are involved in healing and things like that, we're constantly, hey, you got to try this, influencing people. But the problem is most people don't own the role of leadership. They don't realize that they're leaders. They don't acknowledge that they're leaders and say, I need leadership skills. And that's why out of hundreds of leaders I work with, there's like 5 that I could say were anything, because they never even, how could they be good if you can't give it attention and say what makes a great leader? They're so insecure to even ask the question. So there has to be an openness to it, a way to approach it, and use it as a springboard for our own personal development, the leadership position, because if there's anything that can put you into an ego mind state, when people come to you and say, boss, you've now got your yoga made out for you. Paying the guys in the band. I was always the leader of the band. Paying the guys in the band. I was always the leader of the band. This is a great responsibility. And that's why people don't want to own that. I went to a ceremony up in Ohio a while back, and I love the guy who ran it. I really like him. He's a young guy from, I think, Austria. And I was excited to be there. And he just said, before we start the ceremony, let's do breathing exercise. Oh, great. And he'd be like, okay, 12 breaths. Raise your arms. I'm like 12, and it was still like that's like 25, like 12 was a way back. He said 12. That's where it starts and ends. Honest to God, I swear to God, if you can't count to 12 and deliver on a simple statement like that, and everything else, that was the crack that then showed through everything. That there's no room for any loss of integrity at all. Nobody's perfect, and I'm not trying to say, I'm saying, let's talk about this in real terms. If it's 12, it's 12. It's not 39. You can't even commit on a simple thing like that with your words. And a leader doesn't have a guitar. A leader doesn't have a harmonica like I do. A leader has one thing: their voice and their ears. That's their only tool. Piano player has a big piano. A secretary has a computer. Writer has a photographer has that camera? What does a leader have? This,
Speak and listen.
this, and this. Great leaders know how to use this and this. But they have the same tool. It's not like I have a Fender Stratocaster and you have a $12 Macy's guitar. We have the same guitar. Somebody sounds like Eric Clapton, and somebody sounds like a clown. So it's the same.
The same instrument.
Same. We got the same
Instrument, divine instrument.
Like how we using those skills, that that perception, how to listen deeply when people come in and we're working with them and they're upset, and going through the loss of a dog. You know, have you ever worked on teams where somebody goes through that kind of emotional, kind of like issues, you know, divorce, kid, you know. I mean, it's everyday life, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure a lot of you have seen like where somebody comes in, they go like, wow, something really terrible happened in my personal life. And it totally fucks up everything that you're doing with them. It's not like, oh, you had a personal life, and this is a different, no, this is not your life anymore. This is something else. You're bringing that depression, anxiety, or fear right into your role in the team and everything else you're doing. So there's no real separation. But I'd like to kind of switch gears. We have a few minutes left, and just answer some questions and that may have come up as I was speaking, or even comments, or reinforce what I was saying. Any of that would be well received.
I felt like there's an integration of the spirituality with the business world. To recognize that would be able to help smooth out the collaboration, community building the soul tribe, and different compartment, different terminology, how to merge the two together. Like for instance, like you talk about family and people going through tough time and building the team, which in the business world we call the human resources department, take care of our own people so that they can help bring love and care into the work, the collective work, and put it together through smoothing out that transitional phase, the emotional birthing that they're going through. We hold space for them, and later on they will be able to be more efficient in work. So that aspect is what I'm learning. I'm bringing the knowledge from the business world and into the spiritual world community.
Or into the corporate world.
Yes, the corporate world. Yeah, that's what I'm learning.
What's hard there's not, you know, having been in it and doing it for so many years, there's not a lot of receptivity. And that's where psychedelics are extremely helpful. And we're going to be running some executive type retreats in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Oh, she has a place in Las Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
planning to bring those leaders in.
Yes, it's amazing because it's a long time I was thinking about this, but also my son teach me because he started to grow in the middle of nowhere.
Mushrooms, yeah, you told me.
Yeah, and it was amazed me so kind of crazy because he chose mushroom, and it was what I loved all my life, what I was receiving from my grandmother, friends. But I learned from him. We did ceremony. He guided me inside ceremony, and it was amazing. Like I was shocked. And after that, he became famous actor in New York. He started to do many amazing things.
So you had a good experience with mushrooms.
Yes, and
You too.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. We share inside mushroom. We share like I finished acting school and he doesn't know anything what I know, and he finished also acting school and I don't know what he is knowing, where he is. All of a sudden we was joking and I feel like we create network and it was telepathically feel and whatever
Yeah.
I feel he knows, whatever I know he knows.
But I didn't say this, by the way. Going out to the, if you're interested, did you go to the Insight booth?
I came from your book.
Okay, cool. I just wanted, people look for resources. I just wanted to make sure.
Thank you.
Good, thank you, man.
And now he's always saying to me, I have to continue, like you say, microdosing. And I'm interested because mushroom totally resonate with my consciousness, and I feel helpful, and I like you share with me that dose you share with me. And I feel like, yes, this is microdosing will be stabilize my problem and help.
Microdosing.
I even can continue, like I do crazy stuff now during these 3 days. I'm waking up 5 o'clock and then I go to bypass Santa Monica, walking back to Venice skating park, making massage.
That
going
sounds
back
like fun. What
and
do you
also
do?
in
That
the
doesn't
evening-
sound crazy to
in
me
the,
at
in
all.
the evening.
That's what I
Yes.
would do.
And I feel like, oh my God, I get my body back. And it's only one pills you give it to me, or whatever you give it to me. It's only one.
Do you
What was
spray-
that, the mushroom?
No,
The
the
gummy?
small gummy. You give
Oh.
only one, and that gummy awake me, and I just feel, yeah, I just catch it, and I get it full. But I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to continue, and because that is of course issue with the body and with the
Well,
digesting
yeah,
system.
if you want to work,
I would like to know techniques.
well, with the
basically.
Psychedelic Institute, we have professionals, and it's good to work with a coach, where you can get on the phone, like I do coaching, if you're interested, like once a week, while you're microdosing, writing down some experiences that you might want to talk about, to monitor how much you're doing and see your regimen, like are you doing, like to guide you in that.
Yes.
And, but ultimately, we don't want to have a coach forever. We want to learn how to be our own coach. So you want to learn the medicine, and a coach can help. I mean, I've had many coaches for many different things, and they've helped me. I still do. I mean, I still go to people and ask for help and advice and direction. That's what smart people do. I was told. And, but that's not it. It's, you have to learn the medicine for yourself. You have to learn your dosage. You have to
So
learn
how you learning by taking?
by doing it,
But
and
my
writing it down. Say,
my
okay, I
son
did a
said to
half
me-
a gram today, I did a half a gummy, next day I do a half a gummy. I didn't feel it. Like Paul said, you should feel it, but not be intoxicated, so, but I didn't feel it, so what does that tell me? What did I learn about me? I learned about me, I'm just using something simple right now.
Right.
I learned about my dosage that nothing to do with you, nothing to do with Paul or Bree or anybody. It's me and me. That's simple thing.
Yeah, just like when I saw you guys at the expo, and I got the MDMA and the SAS, and I took 2 of them. They said, well, just take 2, because, I told them, I said, when I used to smoke weed years ago, just 1 puff, and I was, I was flying, yeah. And I said, well, just do 2. I did 2, an hour, 12 hours, and nothing. I said, well, I'm going to take 4. And then 4, I felt it. I felt it for a little while, and then I take another 2, which was 8, because that was like 25 milligrams. And, I don't know, I guess I wanted to see God and talk to God, Jesus, I don't know, somebody. And then I started like 4 in the morning. Then in the evening, I said, kind of felt like it was going down. I do the SAS. I take 2.
SAS.
Yeah. And then I do
You're
the
a
SAS.
crazy man.
Yeah,
But you know what, you're gonna learn
Yeah.
from all that, you're not gonna do that
That's
20
what I was saying,
times.
I learned that.
That's something, that's a one-time thing,
right.
and I can think of so many times that some people say, oh, you did too much. No, I learned about my dosage, I learned about, I continue to learn. It's not like you learn and that's it, because now we have new psychedelics coming out. We have new combinations possible. And that's what makes it exciting to me, you know. Although I have to say my desire in general to take psychedelics has gone down a lot, because I'm at peace most of the time. And I'm not the way I was. You know, I was a crazy man for so many years that now I'm not that.
Because
Anymore.
that's what you basically, not everybody, but that's what most people want to do it, you know, to find that peace, that,
Yeah,
you know,
that's what you want.
in yourself, you know.
Yeah, we shouldn't need it,
you know.
we shouldn't, you know, I'm
Yeah.
not a proponent of take this stuff forever. You should, I will take it forever, don't get me wrong, because I enjoy it, but not because I need it. When the last 5 years, it's been working with the medicines very deeply and, you know, from a therapeutic point of view.
So you are microdosing 5 years or something?
No, well, you don't microdose for 5 years. You do a month or two, take a break.
Okay.
You can do 3 months, take a break. Then some of
And
these
how
people
long
come back
break?
sporadically. They'll start
How long break?
like a week. Yeah, do like 3 or 4 weeks, then take a week.
So is it any diet also?
No, just take it in the morning
for the money?
before you eat a lot of food.
Oh.
Especially MDMA in particular, if you eat a lot of food, it takes a long time for it to come on. Did you eat a lot last night before you did the
Oh, that,
MDMA?
when I did, that was several weeks ago.
Oh, okay, it was
because
Conscious Life, that's right.
Yeah, it was for the whole weekend. Well, the day before I ate, but that day
But
I
that
didn't.
didn't,
I didn't feel like eating, just drinking, you know, I just.
But before you did the MDMA, you didn't eat?
No,
Okay.
no, because I ended up doing it till about
No, you just have
4
a
in the morning.
tolerance. I have friends that eat you did about 200 milligrams.
Right.
That's what they need, you know, and I need 50. I like our black gummy microdoses, just 12. For me, that's what the medicine works the best. And if I go stronger, I go with SAS. I go with the SAS, because I find that's, for me, more psychedelic.
So the size is stronger than MDMA?
For me it is, it's more I wouldn't say it's strong, but it's so personal, that's what I say.
Yeah.
I know people that will say, I like MDMA, but a lot of people, I would say, would probably prefer SAS.
Yeah. I did them both, you know, like I did
Yeah.
MDMA, so I don't remember.
Well, you gotta do them
I gotta do it.
and study them,
Separate,
really
study
feel
it.
them, yeah. I would do,
Right.
knowing your tolerance, I would do 100 milligrams of SAS.
Now,
And you'll
which
have-
one is that?
you'll feel it.
You have DMT?
We don't offer DMT.
Oh, you don't.
For a few different reasons, none of them legal, have to do with legality, but.
Everything is legal, what you're doing, right?
No,
Not everything.
no, nothing, pot isn't even legal, but just like pot, there's no persecution. Like pot is illegal, dispensaries are all
For
illegal.
federal, yeah.
Federally, yeah, they're class 1 like heroin and
Mushroom
fentanyl.
is not legal.
But nobody goes after you, and the same, it's kind of with psychedelics today. They're all illegal, just like cannabis, but nobody's going after anybody. It's kind of, I think it's gonna continue indefinitely like that.
We can show people, we teach them how to honor the sacred spirit.
How can we what?
Honor the sacred
How
spirit.
can we teach them?
Yeah, how to teach the sacred spirit to find it in all elemental force. So the mushroom or the hemp,
Yeah,
and it's
cannabis,
Chinese
yeah.
medicine
Yeah,
too.
It's really, it hurts me personally when I see the medicine being disrespected.
Yes, that's why we're here to rectify the lineage, to recognize that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, it comes down to, and we'll close on this note, that it's on me.
love to support.
Really to get the message out that we have to respect the medicine, then I have to respect the medicine.
Right.
I have to do the work of the medicine. I have to, when I'm guided and told I have to do what I'm doing, I have to do it. I have to surrender to the medicine and show people what it looks like that you live a safe, abundant, secure, happy life. That's the best way. Isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
really, to communicate to people to respect the medicine, then look, I respect them. This is what it looks like. And when you see what people who disrespect the medicine, it doesn't look like this. So to begin to model the behavior, to do good ceremonies, to be good shaman, to have integrity. There's integrity's involved in every single thing. Everything, you know, with any substance you can adulterate, with anything you can, there's a lower quantity. That's all integrity. Giving people, saying things that you do, what you're gonna do. It's 12 breaths, then it's 12 fucking breaths. It's not 35. You know, like that's integrity's integrity. It could be with breath or it could be with anything.
Right.
And that's not easy. So before you fix yourself, fix me. Just make sure you're fixed.
That's right.
And as we help people, we don't have to be perfect. There's nothing about that. It's just humility. You know, it's just humility and humbleness.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm gonna fuck up.
So,
We fuck up. Everybody fucks up.
my kudos, I have to figure out which kind of medicine and what is the name. I have to read, or you going to, if I choose you, guide me. You're going to say, oh,
Yeah,
it's
if you
better
want,
this
if you
one
want to,
or that.
if you know,
Because I don't know.
if you want me to-
Honest, I never try
Yeah.
only ayahuasca like
No.
10 years ago.
yeah,
That's
no,
it.
I think that come down to the booth, and then, I'll either refer you to somebody, and or if you want me to help you, I can have time. I don't know if your schedule is gonna.
With that thing, with that